Hi guys, this is going to be a ceramic video, and in this lesson we're going to be making a coil pot. The things I need to get started are a piece of clay, I have a water spray bottle, a piece of a comb for scoring the clay, and a container of slip. Slip is the same clay that I'm building with, it's just very watered down. I'm going to start by creating my base. I'm going to take this piece of clay and work it into a circle, a sphere, a ball. Once I have that, I'm going to pat it down into a cookie. And it's going to be a fairly thick cookie. Clay does not like to be too thin. If it's thin, it can easily break. We want our clay to stay pretty thick. This is a good base for me to start a coil pot. Now that we made our base, we're ready to start forming our coils. To make a coil, I'm going to also start with a ball. Nice round ball is going to help. And I'm going to place it down on my working space and roll it out using the palm of my hand. I'm not using my fingers, I'm using my palm. And once again, a reminder that clay does not like to be too thin. This is a nice size coil right here. To attach my pieces of clay together, I'm going to do three things: score, slip, and blend. They are all very important to attaching your clay. Scoring means making little scratches where the two pieces are going to connect. So I'm going to be putting this first coil around the base that I created right here. So that means I need to add score lines to both the base, my base piece, and to the coil. So all these little scratches are the score lines. Next, I'm going to take a small dab of my slip. I'm going to apply it to one of the pieces. You don't need to put it on both. Just add it to one of the pieces you're about to connect. Place them together. Pat it down a little bit. And then it's important to blend. That is what connects the two pieces together. Score, slip, and blend. Okay, I'm going to make another coil and add it on to this space right here. I can measure it by laying it on and then taking a needle tool and using that to cut off the excess piece that I have there so that it fits into the space where I want it to nicely. I've already scored this side. I still need to add my score lines to my new piece of the coil. A little bit of slip on there. And I'm ready to add this piece in. Pat it down a little bit and blend. So often I see students that forget to blend. The reason it's so important to score, slip, and blend is that when the clay is wet like this, it sticks together real easily. But as it dries, it actually separates apart as it's drying. And if you didn't do the score lines, add the slip, and blending it together as it dries, your pieces will come apart again. I'm taking my time to create a good foundation so that the rest of my build will be successful. Making sure that nothing is too thin, not too skinny. Okay, now I'm ready to go up to my next layer. Okay, so I already have a pretty nice size bowl here. This could be a really great cereal bowl or ice cream bowl or soup bowl. And that was only, what, 4 or 5 layers. I could stop here and clean it up and be real happy with this project. I am noticing some cracking that's happening as the clay is drying out a little bit. So you can spray just a little bit of water in your hand. I'm not spraying it on the clay, I'm just spraying it in my hand. And then I can rub that water on the clay to smooth out those cracks that are happening. I don't want my clay to get too wet though, otherwise it's gonna turn into slip. It's gonna kind of melt and turn into slip. So just keeping the surface wet so that to prevent the cracks is all I need to do. When you're finished building your piece, you want to write your name someplace where it can be easily read. I'm using the needle tool to write, and I'm just scratching into the surface, not cutting all the way through. It can definitely be tricky writing on clay, and if you need a little help to do this, I'm available to help. And then you can place this on the drying shelf so that all of the water can dry out of it, and then it'll be ready to put into the kiln. If we get to the end of the class and you are not finished, you want to continue building next time, then what we need to do is get a plastic bag and put a piece of tape on it and write your name on the tape using a Sharpie marker. You can choose whichever size plastic bag is appropriate to the size of your project. We're going to put the project in a bag and put a couple of squirts of water in the bag, just like that, to help keep it moist until you come back for your next art class. Make sure you seal the bag. If there is a pan or tray available, that can be really helpful for transporting your piece around. So I'm going to set it right here in this tray, and then I'm going to go put it over on our project sculpture shelf. When it comes time for cleanup, we don't want any clay to go down the sink drains. It can easily clog up the sink drains. So you're going to wash the clay off of your hands and off of any tools that you used using a bucket of water that I'll have in the classroom. After all of the clay is rinsed off of your hands and off of your tools, we'll put the tools back away where they belong. and then you can wash your hands in the regular sink using soap. Now for my very last section up on top here, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to start by making a pinch pot. For a pinch pot, I'm going to make a nice round ball to start with. Okay, there's my ball. I'm going to put the ball in the palm of my hand. I'm going to press gently with my thumb, and then I'm going to be pinching with my 2 fingers here, thumb and 2 fingers. But you gotta do it gently, just gently. I'm just making a little dimple to get myself started. I'm not pushing all the way through, just going around gently. Rotate, pinch and rotate, pinch and rotate, little bit at a time, little bit at a time. Better to go slower. Don't let this edge get too thin. Don't let the bottom get too thin. Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to score and slip and blend this piece up on top. And then I'm going to take my needle tool. There's my needle tool. I'm actually going to reopen the bottom of this pinch pot so that it opens up into the cavity of the rest of the pot. Thanks for watching and have fun!